Well, good morning and welcome to Mirador Television. Start after a long break and a little look around at what's going on in our own backyard. How about a decent intro? Yeah, that's going back a little way. We will be reviewing the weekend's events eventually. But let's just relax for a moment because I thought that you might like to see Lewis in a different. Oh dear. I shouldn't have come up there. Uh, a different perspective and see what Lewis is like from a different angle. So try this on for size. Well, that was a bit different, isn't it? We still haven't overcome our basic distribution or problems, but hopefully you'll get some idea of what that's all about. Not a very good, not a very good reception this morning. Very distribution this morning, I'm afraid. We try very hard. It's not always able to do things in the time scale that we want. Oh, well, that's a little better there. Yeah, that's a little better. Okay, I'm Keith Hayes. This is Mirador Television. Welcome to Break an Egg, our first offering of the day, and a time when we scout around to see what the hell's been going on. And of course, it's all full of the Jubilee at the moment. But sneaking under the headlines is that there is some problems with our local scene, our local situation, and we're going to have to face them sooner or later. So why not sooner? Now that we've got the Jubilee celebrations underway. But anyway, that's the lovely town that we. We came here to represent. Oh, there it is again, and we must do away with that now. Nice though it is to see. There we go. And I'm afraid it is the headlines are all about the wonderful time that we had the last 4 days. And then there is one headline with a sour note, and that is that the dissident MPs have got 24, 25 letters, as they call them. And those letters are, please get rid of our leader. We want to change. And it takes, I think, 50% of the Conservative Party plus one to get rid of Boris. As you know, he may be controversial and he may even be evil to some extent. But one of the things that he is doing and able to do is to do the rallying cry when it's needed in the crisis. And that's what these people who want to get rid of him haven't realized, is they want to go back to the old way of being, let's get the Foreign Office and the Civil Service rooting around. We cannot afford to be a dull ditchwater city, town, community that we're threatened with by those who would pretend to be king, because it is a very difficult situation being king. As many of our leaders, so-called leaders, let's say those in government or governance, have pointed out. You have to take into account what has just recently happened, never mind what you would like things to happen. Anyway, the news headlines are all about the Metro, magical. They loved what happened in their fair city on the weekend with the Queen. And that is the theme that goes through most of the newspapers. The Mirror, my heart is with you all, quoting the Queen in her speech. The Daily Mail, my heart has been with you all, again. Daily Express, my heart has been with you all. They've all picked up the fact that she has been ill and had to cancel a lot of her involvement in her own Jubilee. But she managed to get out yesterday and make a sterling speech. She's 97, yes. Keith is, I am 93. No, I'm not. I'm early 83. So I'm sort of at the midpoint. And you can ask questions which is obvious to some of you, not quite so obvious to others. And he who has the right cards continue to essentially not go unpunished. I think that's and Simon is very good. He actually ran scenes in which it was very good for the cow to be in the holding center. How can that be so? Well, because those that are gunning for him, in other words, to put beef on our plates, are feeling a little bit mellower at the moment because of what's happened. All right, let's take a look at what we've got, because This is a regeneration time, and I think that one of the things that we would like to do is to remind everybody the sort of things that we are able and capable of doing, and that it was only a stab wound from the freedom, from those in power that actually screwed things up. Now, here is one of the look backs that we thought were looking back. Others had ideas. Oops. Oh, we lost it again, didn't we? God, all these passwords that keep on cropping up to ask me to verify things right in the middle of a program, and it's just not on. It really isn't on. Okay, let us see if we can get back to what we were doing. Because I was about to show you a video. And here it is.
Next up, bottled poetry. All about wine tasting, and some information. For the next episode of Catlin's Corner, the lovely Stephen has another issue he wants to discuss.
Welcome to Mirador.
Give us back our town. Beer, wine.
So, thank you for joining.
Hey, Ellie, come on, give us a kiss. Come on.
Do admire the hanging gardens of Babylon on the way. They can't even cut that back properly.
Hello. At last I've caught you asleep.
You did hold up a Bible upside down, but you held it up.
Hey there.
Hello, my name is Leslie Hills and I paint portraits. They're sold for cancer research, and this Christmas Mirador Television are putting on a competition just for fun, and we'd like people to send in a self-portrait and also a photograph of themselves as well.
So that is that we did prior to lockdown, and we're struggling, not struggling, striving to get back to that sort of programming again. So I hope that you will become a regular with Mirador. Oh, it's got its problems, the same as any other company has got its problems. And perhaps at this stage, it is not in a great position to be able to say things about that, and things that we would prefer to be intimate, I'm quite sure. And as a consequence, we will take a look at how we got on up until the time of lockdown, and a little bit after that. Some of the things that we have done on Mirador really are pretty fair. So before I go back to the headlines, because they're much of a muchness this morning, let's see if we can get another little snippet shall we? Another little snippet. Now, we in the past we did a program called SIS, Seen in Sussex. And here is an example of what went into those programs. So have a little peek into Mirador's past.
Hi, this is Keith Hayes. Just a quick note about our programme schedule for November and the beginning of December. We keep on creeping along, nudging along, getting new stuff for you. There'll be some updates on the scene in Sussex that you have already. There'll be one or two other things that are coming along. Our friend Sir January down on Priory Park will be bringing you a little bit more history of the region. And also, we will have our regular rants, plenty to rant about. Don't make me laugh, customer first. And of course, we'll try and keep you up to date with the weather. But bit by bit, we're adding more services, and as we go along, we hope that we can satisfy your entire desire, and you won't want to go anywhere else but to watch Mirador television. We look forward to having you along, and do join us. But you can also catch some of our stuff on Facebook, some of our stuff on YouTube. But generally speaking, this is the best place to come: miradortelevision.com. And you can get absolutely everything that we put out, and some of it's not half bad. Okay, toodle pip, and glad to talk to you, and see you later. Now there's nothing like the English pub. I love popping into my local. Little chat, a little drink, and all is right with the world. The pubs have a long history in England, and here's the British Council to tell us a little bit about them. A bit ideal sounding, I think, to begin with, but what the heck. This film was made in 1944, and if they appreciated a pub then, who can say them nay?
Flanked by the church, the rectory, and the people's homes, stands the inn. In its shade and beneath its roof, men of all degrees and of all opinions meet in comradeship and comfort. Side by side with the monastic inns grew the royal inns, which were used by the king's servants when travelling in the Middle Ages. A house in each village was selected for their accommodation. These too in time became commercial inns under such ancient signs as the Crown. Later, the inn yard was used by the postboy as a link between villages and hamlets. The mails in turn were carried by stagecoach further afield, and today much of our civilization can be traced back to these earlier forms of communication which centered round the inn. As the inns grew more important, their yards grew larger and galleries were added. These formed a convenient theatre for strolling players, who often used the inn for refreshment after their performance. By the beginning of the 19th century, coach travel had become more popular, and the tavern was used as a coaching station. There, luggage was assembled, and passengers would be taken aboard prior to the long drive across the English countryside. Mail coaches built for speed used the inns as halts, where fresh teams of horses were changed in a matter of seconds. Today, beneath the sign of the old coach and horses, you will find bicycles. While on the road, cars pass old toll gates, where once fees were collected for the upkeep of the main road. When the railway brought speed to industrial England, it also brought the new railway taverns. You'll also find the inn on the banks of the English waterways, our oldest transport routes. The cargoes which float past have changed with the centuries. Sail has given way to steam and the petrol motor. The inn signs themselves reflect a great variety of topical humour, interests, sports and history. The load of mischief, a dig at the nagging wife. The volunteer, from the days when warfare was more casual. The White Hart, crest of King Richard II. England's St. George fighting the dragon. And England's St. George refreshing himself afterwards. The Six Bells with its two meanings. The row barge to remind us of more leisurely days, and the cross-handed highwayman of when our roads went so safe. The Fighting Cocks, memories of an old English sport, and the airman to bring our inn signs right up to date. Travel along the English road today and you'll find the modern inn, there to refresh all travellers according to their means. Its appearance and amenities differ widely from the village tavern, but its roots are the same. It merely reflects the temper and taste of a new and swifter age.
Well, 1944 was a nice, swifter age. I wonder what today is or what they would make of us today. But anyway, the pub still exists, and that's absolutely great. Well, now food and drink. If you remember, I was trying to get on a food show. So let's take a look. I managed to get most of my food out of the way, but then it was time for dessert. So, did we need good fruit and veg for the dessert? Did we need pumpkins? Not a bit of it.
It has been a lovely lunchtime. Here I got home and I thought, from church, and I thought, gosh, it's got another miserable old Sunday lunch all on my own. But no, I got Keith in. I got doppelganger Keith in.
I think I think that we'll leave that one for another time. But the English pub and how it got started, and that's part one. We have part two. But it's a look back on how we developed our habits of drinking and how the pubs developed and so on. And it's rather a nice program. So I'm reasonably happy that we've got things going this morning. 08:57. Let us just take a quick look at the headlines, the newspaper headlines, and the much has to do with the 4 days of the weekend, and a little bit to do with what the real news is. In the Metro this morning, The Queen is on the front page, and her quote is, "I have been humbled and deeply touched by," and she means the reaction of her subjects, if we still use that term, the people in the royal domain, with how the people outside have responded to what the people on the inside thought was needed, and that we had a very, very good Jubilee. Indeed, having been part of it here and there, I would agree it certainly is, or has been. Let's see. The Daily Mirror, "My heart is with you all." And that's a quote from the speech that the Queen gave yesterday. And in the middle of, she wasn't able to take part in absolutely everything. She's elderly, and she suffers from the odd bit of fatigue. But she was ably represented by those in her retinue, if we want to call it that, who were able to take part. So she's saying through the pages of the Mirror, "My heart is with you all." The Daily Mail is they slightly changed the quote to, "My heart has been with you all," but she in many ways is reflecting, I think, the whole up tempo of the relationship between us and the royal family. There are lots of splits in our society, and there are lots of things in which we're yelling at one another left, right, and centre. But the monarchy does bring a sense of tradition, loyalty, and calm, and she most certainly has done that. All right, let's see what we should be doing now. I don't think I can do anything while I'm just reviewing the papers. But the Daily Express, the same quote as the Mail: "My heart has been with you all," and a Queen looking very dapper and looking not at all her age. 96. She did bow out of some of the parties and occasions on the weekend. I don't blame you. 96 and still going strong. So she did manage to take part in everything that's going on towards the end. Where are we at the moment? Well, we are at 2 minutes past 9. The Daily Telegraph. While I may not have attended every event in person, my heart has been with you always. That's the Queen paying tribute to what's gone on and some of the things that everybody's been doing. The Times. Queen's balcony message: "This is the future of our monarchy." And instead of thousands and hundreds, there are pictures in the Times a very narrow now royal family, as the Queen, Prince William and his family, and the Queen, Prince Charles, and his family, and that after all the upset about what sort of family he should have, the son says, "Thank you, Mum." It simply says, "Thank you, Mum." And I think that the outpouring of affection for the Queen, noted by the huge numbers that turn out at almost every occasion, whether it be in the capital or whether it be in some of the shires, is a testimony to that. You know, thank you, ma'am, for your years of service. The Star loves to joke and josh a little bit, and why not? And so it says, "Long to reign over us," RAIN, pointing out that the weather was pretty good for the day that they chose to celebrate the Queen's anniversary, if you like, or new coronation, or whatever various people are calling it. But the Star says, "Long to reign over us," and by golly, what a jolly ceremonies and celebrations you've been hosted over. And the Queen has not made any reference to the sort of people who's always a waste of money and so on and so forth. She has very much taken the front center stage while allowing her children and her government to get about their business and be reflected in that as to how well they think he's doing. In fact, the Star says, "Long to reign over us." Guys, the way these things have come down from. The I is the vote on Johnson, Johnson's future turning toxic for Tories. So the I newspaper centers back on the problems that the Prime Minister is having, with a number of MPs saying that he really has taken his eye off the ball, and that the number of occasions have arisen in which he, as the head of state, should be involved and wasn't, and couldn't be, and that we have to worry about who the next leader is. Well, I would agree from what the reflection we get from this program, and it's now 10 minutes past. Is it 10 minutes past? 6 minutes past 8 on the 6th of the 6th. So it's 060606. Doesn't happen very often, does it? And the paper says Johnson allies accept a vote of no confidence in the PM is close. In other words, the threats to the monarchy and threats to democracy and so on a low at the moment, and because they have to reflect immediacy, is some of that isn't shown in the papers. But hold tight, says the Guardian, because they're really accepting the fact that a row at this stage would spoil absolutely everything. Now, the Financial Times, which always has to, well, necessity, views the financial aspects of everything that we're doing, and not to disappoint now, it's showing that that we are soft on some of the things that are happening that are affecting Europe as well. And one of the things is IPO values plummet to 90% in Europe, and this all haven't said all US influential people and war take their toll in our society. That's the Financial Times. Its basic headline is that the IPO, in other words, the launch of new companies, as I expect, hopefully, to have a public support and so on, known as an IPO. Initial public offering is the technical term, but the values have plummeted 90% in Europe and the US. That confidence in what the paper they're holding is not giving a great deal of confidence in what's happening either in the world or what's happening in the markets, and for that matter, the prisons and the front lines almost everywhere. And that no wonder confidence in the markets is going down. Just a little look at the background to where the stocks and shares are at the moment. Next, he says, we need to go to well, we don't have to go anywhere really, but we should. And I think that one of the things that we can do is to bring in those things which we have decided aren't that important, but perhaps give a different viewpoint to the one that we take. Now, it's now 8:11, and if you go by anything on our programs to catch the bus or whatever, that is an accurate time set. So let's I'm not absolutely sure what I should be showing you here, because we never ever do things quite the way that others would do them. If well, it won't let us do that. Okie dokie. It is 12 minutes past 9 o'clock on a new era, one would hope, in very dicey ground, but on a new era. And it is important, I think, that we know where we're going, what we're doing, and so on. And I think that before we actually go out to conquer great worlds, is that we need to get a government and an elite to the point where they do know what they're doing, asking the right people to operate for them. And that, in fact, the positive view that we were starting to get from the newspapers were very good. Very good. Now, I've lost my way a little bit, so I think what I'm going to have to do is to take a well, where can we go? Is let's see what we've got on the sidelines here, shall we? Well, yes, I think now it's time to take another view over Lewis. It's getting light, and let's see what we can see. I quite like these leaders. Now, we should. I wasn't quite expecting that. I've lost my way. I've lost my way from being a commentator to a technician. But let's not despair. First of all, that's me, and there's some things here that we've played already. Let's. What's the time, by the way? It's 9:15. Right, 9:15, and we're all going back to work this morning. Right, here we go. So there we are. I'm all over the place now. Let's go back to me if we can. There we are. There we are. Things are big to work, and it is now 18 minutes past 9 o'clock on the morning of the 6th of June in the year 2020. And a weekend of platinum. I hate that word, platinum. Platinum Jubilee. And we had some tremendous fun. There's no question. Some tremendous fun. And a lot of things happened. We were mostly involved with the history side of things. And very proudly, it was undertaken. Let's see if I can now discover where we should go to find our new programs, because it's all thrown me at the moment. Let's see if either of the boys have got anything that would just fill out nicely our morning thing. If we say share, I think that it gives us the options of the things that we could share. Right, we're into the video files. So here is the end of 2020.
Next up, bottled poetry. All about wine tasting, and some information. For the next episode of Catherine's Corner, the lovely Stephen has another issue he wants to discuss.
Welcome to Mirador.
Give us back our town. Beer, wine.
So, thank you for joining.
Hey, Ellie, come on, give us a kiss. Come on.
Do admire the hanging gardens of Babylon on the way. They can't even cut that back properly.
Hello. At last I've caught you asleep.
You did hold up a Bible upside down, but you held it up.
Hey there.
Hello, my name is Leslie Hills and I paint portraits. They're sold for cancer research, and this Christmas Mirador Television are putting on a competition just for fun, and we'd like people to send in a self-portrait and also a photograph of themselves as well.
Done that file or not?
Are you working?
You're taking a picture, you filming?
I'm filming.
Oh no.
You're gonna have to work
Sitting
now.
there going,
Well, good morning. It's Keith Hayes at Priory Park in Lewis, standing or sitting by Generally, our mascot.
Breaking news, November 1967. Carl Stokes elected mayor of the city of Cleveland, Ohio. The first black American man of color to be elected the mayor of a major American city.
Hi, welcome to Mirador Television. My name is Mark Payton, and I'm outside the offices of Stratton Parker and Lewis. Adrian Passing, the partner there, is going to talk to us now about the property market in 2020. Over to you, Adrian.
I'm Adrian Passingham. I've been an estate agent for 38 years, predominantly in Sussex. Property's been a passion, always has been. My father was an estate agent before me, which I suppose has probably led me into it.
We can't kick.
What one do you want us to...
If you start with the one on your right.
On our right.
This one.
This one. Yeah.
It's looks good.
Well, it
Because
doesn't look
this
too
one
bad.
doesn't look as appetising,
Oh, you know,
so I'd almost want to go for that one first to get it over and done with.
See, this one looks more homemade to me,
Oh, okay.
actually, because that's the sort of design I would make. We've made
Yes,
both
that's
before.
true.
Next up, Stephen Catlin, who has a very interesting announcement to make this week.
Hello everyone and welcome to this brand new programme where we're going to be talking about all things Strictly Come Dancing.
Well, that was a sample of the sort of programs that we brought to you last year. And now that we're heading off into a brand new direction with Mirador following the life and fortunes of the people of Lewis, the people of East Sussex in the UK, but also from around the world where there is some relationship between what we do here and what various other people are doing, just as we get started in the 6th of June. 6th of June, and that we actually will now start looking at some of the individual things that we can do and need to do and must do. We get a bit more serious. So it's 27 minutes past 8 o'clock, and I think that what we'll do is we will say toodle pip, and then we will return in a little while with some more thoughts and ideas and possibly even people on this very lovely morning, 26. And it is there to be reviewed and nibbled on. So, okay, we'll see you in about 10 minutes. About to take a large break. Okay, there we go. Where do we go from here? I know. It's all dreadful, isn't it? Yes, it is. If only we could always remember what it is that we've been doing outside. Anyway, let's just. We'll be back in about 10 minutes with a different view of things, hopefully. Toodle pip for this moment in time, and I'll see what I can do in terms of what I should be pressing. It is depressing when you can't find out what you're supposed to be pressing. But let's go scene around 6. No, we're on this far too long. Let's go this. Okay, see you in a little while. Toodle pip, he said. Amazing what you can't remember to do when you're in a hurry. I think, yes, there we go. No, we haven't. We haven't done that job properly at all. So let's I completely lost myself. Never mind. We will get there in the end. Never panic, never fear. I think that we should be able to say goodbye on this. Dearie me. Never mind. Never mind. We and you're stuck with me. Dear. Well, we'll do it the simple way. Toodles for a little while.